Hi friends, I'm Emily Retro, and today I wanted to show you how I transition my summer decor into fall. I wanted to show this piece in particular because I have lots of vintage Pyrex on here and jadeite. I want to give you some tips on how I display them, and then also some seasonal tips, things that you can do to help make your seasonal decorating easier. So I'm going to take this down and then show you how I'm going to put up my fall decor. If you want to see a full tour of my dining room, I have a tour with that and then also my kitchen, and I will link that video. A question that I get asked all the time is how I stack my Pyrex, and a lot of people want links to certain products for that. I just use whatever I have around the house. So for this one, I used a Tupperware cup that I got at a thrift store. Let's see what I used for this one. Random thrift store bowl. And for this one, I have a clear glass that I got at the thrift store. I'd recommend something like this. They're like clear jars. Those work perfect. If you do want to buy something special, I suggest going to the thrift store or buy something new on Amazon that is clear. Clear is better, and the reason why you should get clear is because it'll match no matter what Pyrex set you get. Another thing you could use for free are yogurt cups. That works great. Check your recycling bin to see if you have anything that would work well. Another reason I would suggest using thrift store items is because all these dishes are different sizes. It's nice to have a variety of sizes. So using whatever you have around the house can really be quite convenient. I love to decorate symmetrically and then also in threes, which kind of doesn't sound like it would work because symmetrically sounds like it would be two or even numbers. But I like to do threes. If you see here, there's 3 panels running down the shelf. I like to use the middle one, and then I will have the 2 things on the other side be symmetrical. Of course, it's not perfect, but I like it that way. It has a nice balance that makes it look different and interesting, but also still have a really good symmetrical appeal. I have a whole formula and guide for how I do this on my blog, so I will link that symmetrical shelf blog post below. All right, it's time to start taking stuff down, but before we do, I have a pro tip for you. Before you start packing away all your summer decor, really look at your items and see if there's anything that you can repurpose for another season. For instance, these green jadeite bowls are perfect for Christmas, so I'm not going to pack these away in my summer decor. I'm going to keep these and I'm going to put them in my Christmas pile. And then all these pink items that I have will be perfect for Valentine's Day. And some items don't even need to be used seasonally. For instance, these flower frogs, I use these year-round. I put different seasonal items inside them, and so I always keep my flower frogs easily accessible to me because I use them all the time. First, I'm going to take off the items that are going to be good for another holiday, and then I'm going to start taking the other items down that are just for summer. Those ones go in just a clear Rubbermaid tin that I thrifted. I use clear because it makes it way easier if I need to find something unexpectedly. If it's not clear, then you have to open the whole thing up and dig through everything, which is super annoying, so I prefer to use clear. Also inside here is just a bunch of old plastic bags that I've had over the years. These are honestly probably 10-year-old bags. I don't use plastic bags anymore. I always use reusable bags. So I just reuse these plastic bags over and over and over again every season. Also, when I get an Amazon package that has bubble wrap, I'll reuse that bubble wrap to pack up my seasonal decor. Again, you don't need anything special to pack up your stuff. Just use whatever you have. Okay, let's start taking these items down. This is all that's left after I took out the items for other holidays. So now we just gotta get rid of this little bit. My tiny little paper pieces. I store all of these in a drawer in a spare bedroom. All my ephemera for every season just goes in that drawer because I don't want them to get wrinkled or lost. The next tip I have is to take your large items like your large tins or your large waste baskets, things that you already use as decorations, and put your other decorations inside them. Okay, now after packing all that away, this is all that remains. These little cake toppers are really, really fragile, and they were actually broken before I found them, and I hot glued them back together multiple times now. So they're so fragile that I do not want to pack them in anything. I will bring them by hand down into the basement and place them gently on a shelf because I don't want them to get ruined. They're my absolute favorite. But everything else I'm going to pack away in my clear bin. Okay, my hutch is empty, and so I'm going to give it a good dusting. This is the perfect time to do any dusting that you need to do. And it's starting to get dark, so I'm gonna go for my nightly walk and then come back tomorrow and start decorating. All right, I'm back to work on my fall shelf. It's actually been 2 days since I did my last video because, you know, life. I'm starting first with some vintage Pyrex. This is actually my Oma's set of Pyrex that I love very much. My mom actually had it and she gave it to me. It's perfect for fall, and I love thinking of all the Dutch recipes that she made in these Pyrex bowls. I'm planning on using a ton of tins from my vintage tin collection. I have tons and tons of tins, but specifically I took out all my fall color scheme tins. We're gonna use some of these on the hutch. I don't really have a big plan of what I'm gonna do. I'm really just gonna throw things on there and see what it looks like. I used to get stuck in these decorating creative blocks. Like I would freeze and have paralysis and not be able to make any decisions. And I found that just throwing things on there works really well for me. I have a blog post all about how to get through a decorating creative block. So if you ever feel overwhelmed or you don't know the next step, I will link that below to help you. Okay, let's get started, see what happens. Got my clear glasses out to stack my Pyrex. Also, this is actually my Oma set of Pyrex. When I unwrapped these, I was like, I thought they were mustard, the ones that Oma had, but guess not. I forgot that I found these at a thrift store. So this is my Oma set. Also, this one's in way worse condition, and my Oma really took care of her stuff. These are in perfect shape, so of course they're my Omas. And I'm gonna decorate with my Merry Mushroom canister set. I just found these, and I was so excited to decorate with them for fall, so they definitely have to go on my fall hutch. I really love how my Merry Mushrooms look, but right away I can tell that there's way too much color down here and not enough up here. All these browns and muted tones are getting a little too dull, so I gotta make sure that I inject some color on these upper levels. Also, I have lots of yellow in my dining room and my kitchen. That is a color that I carry through every season, and so I want to make sure that I incorporate yellow into this hutch so that it will be cohesive with the rest of my dining room. So let's see if we can add some yellow. I have these snails on display that I got at the most recent flea market haul video that I just did. I bought these for $5 and I knew I wanted them on this hutch. I also got a big 8-pack of these bottles for $1, so I definitely wanted to put these in it. This is also in my haul video. And I have these plastic vintage wreaths, and I think they're supposed to go around candles, but they work perfectly around these bottles. Is that weird? I guess so, but I like it, so I'm gonna go for it. Now we're starting to get a little bit of a balance of color, which I like. I've added a lot of yellow up here, and so now we need some yellow down here. There's not a ton of room, but where could we add it? Let me show you. I have this tray that I bought this summer. I went to an estate sale at a house that also had a giant greenhouse in the back. I think they were landscapers, and so they also had like a little garden center, and I think this was used to like transport plants. But anyway, I love the color, and so I'm gonna see how it looks if I put it behind everything on this shelf. If you aren't a maximalist, you probably think I'm crazy, but I still see empty spots here, and I wanna fill them so that it looks like it's exploding with fall. And what do you need when you've got bottles of beverages? Cups. And I have these really cute cups that I got at a flea market. I was just picking them up and looking at them, and the vendor was like, "Oh my gosh, will you please take those? You can have them for $2." And I was like, okay, why not? I didn't really need them. I didn't know how I was going to use them, but I really like the designs. And now I'm finally actually going to have a reason to use them. Oh yeah, that's the perfect touch right there. I added this little felt fall garland that I made about 10 years ago. I made 2 of them. One of them is in my living room, and then one of them is on my hutch. I think it adds, again, a little layer of color, a little layer of texture. And then in the spirit of my Oma, she loved these kitschy plastic flowers, and I got these at that same estate sale where I got the tray. And you guys might think I'm a little weird for doing this, but here we go. I'm gonna put one on this little owl mug, and I'm gonna hang these on the little knobs. I think it just adds the most special little touch. And boy, is that exploding with fall joy. I love it. It's a very outdoorsy theme. I've got snails, I've got owls, bears, deer, and I also got mushrooms, which I love, but then it's still kitchen themed with using my canisters and my Pyrex. It's the perfect balance of orange, brown, and mustard, and it looks very different from what I did last year. I start with the main section for lots of impact, and then I try to keep it symmetrical on either side, but still keep it a little bit different. So what did you think? Do you think that I made any mistakes? Anything that you don't like? What do you like? Let me know in the comments. What piece is your favorite on here? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye, friends!